Oh, I think it's going to be a great race, Dylan. The weather looks like it's finally going to participate with us. You know, every race we've had this year, it seems like it's either rained or either was so hot you couldn't breathe, but it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day down here. We're going to get this one in, and we're going to be finishing up the race from London, Kentucky. As most of y'all know, we got rained out there, but we're finishing it up today. The first 2 rounds of qualifying, we'll take care of that. So looking forward to that, getting that one done. So there's a potential somebody could come down here and win 2 races today. That'd be cool, you know, but I'm still in. That'd be nice, but I don't know if that'll happen.
John Wilmot in the Morgan Johnson's lane on the left-hand side, that 66 Mustang, trying to take out Brian Dalton Sr. in the Ford Futura, Falcon Futura. Good drag race right there, going to be taken right there by Dalton. Tim Haynes and Randy Kiefer are going to be up next right here. Kiefer, the number 2 qualified car. Haynes, the number 7 qualified car out of Chesney, South Carolina.
Hello, my name is Kim Haynes. I'm the driver and owner of the Bad Apple 64 Galaxy. We're having a good time with this car. We're running the Super Stock in Southeast Gassers. The car is a 64. We're running a 390 cubic inch FE engine. Not much better than stock. Warmed over, you know, modified a little bit. Nothing major. Running a 4-speed Jericho transmission with a Ford 9-inch rear end. We've made some good progress with this car this year. Bought the car from a really good friend of mine, Rob Poteet, and he trusted me with the pleasure of owning this little beauty, and I've been really proud to own it and drive it and field it in this awesome Super Stock division in Southeast Gassers. We're making good progress. We're working on some things like springs and clutches and stuff like that. Once we get the car to hook up, get it to go, get it to cooperate with us on the line, then we're going to start working on the motor, making it a little bit faster and a little bit more competitive. But you know what? We bought this car for nostalgia. So many people love these old Galaxies, these old Fords, and it just resonates with people, especially, you know, our older generation. They grew up with these cars, and we're just proud to represent the Ford label, the Ford brand, and give people a glimpse into what racing used to be back in the old days, back in the 60s. That's what Southeast Gassers is all about. We're trying to resurrect what racing used to be. It's grassroots, what it used to be in the 60s, in the old days, when it was before computers and line locks and 2-stage computers and all this other stuff, you know, that the drivers have now, the tools that they use. We're just a driver with a motor, a transmission, and a race car. That's it. We have a tachometer and limited gauges to go by, and we just feel it. We drive by the seat of our pants, and that's what makes it exciting.
Haynes getting the drop on him, but quickly eat up by Kiefer. His Kiefer doesn't miss second gear, and he moves on to the win. The much documented Jerry Dean, the man who has not lost a round of racing in eliminations all year in Superstock, the number 1 qualifier here today at Mooresville, finds himself choosing the mortgage options lane on the left-hand side. He gets a bye by virtue of being the number 1 qualifier and an odd number of cars in competition here today. All right, the number 3 qualifier, Kenny Phillips in the street legal, coming up next. All right, we start C gas, so the first pair out right here coming up in C gas. Number 4 qualifier in the quick time performance lane. That's going to be Josh Pruitt, the young blood. He's going to be racing Jesse Beaver out of Hagerstown, Maryland in the Voodoo Child. Pruitt from beginning to end right here as he marches on into second round. The number 1 qualifier, Todd Oden, going to be taking on the number 18 qualifier, Matt Helms, in the Rowdy Reputation right here. Oden with the short burnout. You saw him just complete the Kentucky win and further extend his point lead that he already has in that 58 Del Rey out of Birmingham, Alabama. Todd Oden continues his march, adding 5 points every time he goes around. Third pair out is going to find Gene Russell in the Junkyard Dyno, the number 14 qualifier. He'll be over in the mortgage options lane. Ernie Smith in the Saturday Night Special will be in the quick time performance lane. The number 5 qualifier, Ernie Smith, gets to round number 2 with relative ease right there. Fourth pair is going to find the number 8 qualifier, Brad Wimberly, in the Southern Sizzler, that 1962 Comet out of McDonough, Georgia. He's going to race Tony Taggenhorst, the number 11 qualifier, in the Wasted Wages. Good drag race right there, won by Wimberly. Jared Perdue, the number 3 qualifier in the Stud Muffin. The number 3 qualifier, Purdue, out of Peoples, Ohio. He's going to find himself in the quick time performance lane here on the right-hand side. So Purdue takes the competition single right there and moves on to round number 2, where he'll face off with Brad Wimberly. Number 9 qualifier, Ron Allison in Poppy's Toy 2, finds himself in the quick time performance lane here on the right-hand side. He's out of Cookeville, Tennessee. He's going to be racing the West Virginia racer, Diana Casto, who is the number 10 qualifier in the Quick Draw Falcon. Number 13 qualifier, Heath Adams in the Rusty Bullet, going to find himself in the mortgage option side on the left-hand lane. And the number 6 qualifier, Ben Shaw, going to be in the quick time performance lane over here on the right-hand side. Eighth pair out, going to find Ben Helms in the number 12 qualifier in the pucker time, and the number 7 qualifier, Billy Wilson, in the troublemaker. comes with a starting line advantage right there over Wilson. Is that going to be enough? Wilson drives around him on the big end with that Fulton power. Bill Wilson going to take on Josh Pruitt next round. Ninth pair out right here finds the fat boy of Doug Poston in the quick time performance lane. He's the number 17 qualifier. He's going to be taking on the number 2 qualifier, Tim Hall, the Scalded Dog Rambler out of Abbeville, South Carolina. So Poston knew he had to go quick and shave it thin, and he left before the tree was activated. So Hall's going to be your winner here. That's going to be Kelvin Cannon out of Elizabethton, Tennessee. He's going to be racing down the track alongside of the number 6 qualifier, Leslie Horn, in a car called Leroy. Leslie Horn pulling double duty today, driving B gas and A gas. Gene Fulton power under the hood of Leroy right there. Powers on to the victory. Number 1 qualifier and current points leader, Daniel Haynes, in that Falcon right there. The Patriot. He'll have a bye run right here by virtue of being that number 1 qualifier and the number of cars that we had entered here today. So with 17 cars entered, he gets the bye right here in round number 1. Woo! Car makes a big skate toward the center line, and Daniel Haynes has to think better of it, push the clutch in. All right, number 4 qualifier, Colby Welch in the Moonbeam. He's going to go down the track and race Greg Adams, the Hillbilly Hoodlum. Cool, calm, and collected is Colby Welch right there as he powers to the victory. Art Copeland, the number 14 qualifier, going to be in the mortgage options lane on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you're going to find the 21-year-old Michael Oden in the double down, too. Michael Oden powers to the win right there, where he'll get Leslie Horn in the next round. All right, now we got up on the line in the mortgage options lane. That's going to be Ted McKee, the defending world champion in B gas in the Rocky Top Missile. That 66 Chevy 2 built by Blake Housley, and horsepower underneath the hood right there by Gene Fulton. He's going to race none other than Jimmy Martin in the ditch digger out of Social Circle, Georgia. Ted McKee takes this win right here. So Ted McKee moves on to the next round. 6 pair out finds the number 9 qualifier, Bill Revels out of Canton, North Carolina in the Black Betty. The number 10 qualifier, Jerry Birch in the Freebird, finds himself in the mortgage options lane. Jerry Burt turns the red light on and gives it right over to Bill Revels. 7th pair out is going to find the number 7 qualifier, Mike Blackwell out of Campobello, South Carolina in the Thunderstruck. He's going to be taking on Michael Walters out of Rayford, North Carolina, the concrete contractor, clocked in at the number 12 qualifying spot. Blackwell takes it over near the wall, man, but he brings it off there. Doesn't make contact with the wall and gets the win. What a driving job by Mike Blackwell. Ken Rainwater out of Kimberly, Alabama. He, being the number 11 qualifier here today, is going to take on Rick Varner out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, the Dirt Man, the number 8 qualifier in his 55 Chevy in the quick time performance lane. Rainwater turns on the red light. Rick Varner going to win right here. He'll take on Ted McKee in the next round. And it looks like Kevin Burt, by judging by not doing a burnout, it looks like he's just going to take the green light. Chase Howard with a little short shift right there in the first and second. He makes it work and powers to the win right there. Leslie Horn start to finish. There's no doubt right here. Number 3 qualifier, Kenneth Phillips out of Campobello, South Carolina in a Silver Streak 2, the 1958 Corvette. Tony Turner in the Quick and Dirty out of Columbus, North Carolina. He's the number 10 qualifier in that 39 Dodge. He sits in the quick time performance lane. Kenneth Phillips starting to finish right there. He just powers through the big end. Next up, the number 5 qualifier, Todd Blackwell. He's going to be racing the number 8 qualifier, Barry Lynch. .5 of a second, the margin of victory at the stripe right there. 5th pair going to be Dean Jonas and Alan Pittman coming up right here as they're in the water box right now. It appears that they're continuing to push the car further back, and that gives me less hope that he's going to make the attempt at this round of racing. So Dean Jonas is going to have a bye run right here. And coming up next, we got the number 6 qualifier, Ben Christopher, out of Boiling Springs, South Carolina in the Happy Days. He's going to be taking on Greg Stelz in the Joker out of Wapaka, Wisconsin, who happens to be the number 7 qualifier here today. A lot of tire spin for Ben Christopher down low, and that was all it took for Greg Stelz, as Stelz hung in there and went straight. All right, folks, here we go. See gas. We're getting ready to get started back with round 2 action right here. Ernie Smith, the number 5 qualifier, finds himself in round number 2, facing off against the number 6 qualifier. So a battle of 5 and 6 right here as Ben Shaw in the Hot Rod out of Lebanon, Tennessee. Ben Shaw takes the win right there. Todd Oden, the number 1 qualifier right here after that win in round number 1. By virtue of being that number 1 qualifier, he's going to get a bye right here. That car marches on and continues to lower elapsed times every time he goes down the racetrack. Next pair up, Josh Pruitt right here, the young blood out of Inman, South Carolina, going to be in the quick time performance lane. He's going to race Gaffney, South Carolina racer Billy Wilson. Billy Wilson goes red. The big red light catches him, and Josh Pruitt moves on. And Josh Pruitt moves to round number 3, where he's going to get the winner of the very next matchup coming around the corner. That's going to be Jared Perdue out of Peebles, Ohio. He's going to be taking on the McDonough, Georgia racer Brad Wimberly in the Southern Sizzler. All right, Purdue going to be over there in the 62 Chevy 2 wagon. He's out of Peebles, Ohio, as I mentioned before. Gene Fulton Power underneath the hood of the Stud Muffin. And Wimberly, McDonough, Georgia in the 62 Comet, the Southern Sizzler with Lamar Walden Power underneath the hood for him. Purdue with a big starting line advantage. If he takes that on to the win. All right, next pair up, going to find our two-time and defending world champion Tim Hall taking on the 78-year-old Ron Allison in Poppy's Toy 2. He's out. So an 018 tree for Ron Allison is not enough to overcome the wonderful elapsed time set down by Tim Hall right there. Bill Revels goes toward the wall, has to correct it, but he looks like he's running well, but he has not got enough to beat Daniel Haynes. Good pass right there for Revels, but not enough to take out Daniel Haynes. All right, Leslie Horn going to be over there into the mortgage options lane on the left-hand side in that Leroy car owned by Wayne Swafford. The One-Way Technologies Power sits underneath the Double Down 2, the 1962 Chevy 2 of Michael Oden, the 21-year-old out of Birmingham, Alabama. We got a drag race here, folks. And Michael Oden takes the win right there, beating the world champion right there on the starting line. Margin of victory right there, 0.15 for Michael Oden. We got Colby Welch in the Moonbeam, the 1965 Ranchero, and Mike Blackwell, Campbell, South Carolina, in the 1955 Thunderbird. Colby Welch takes the win right there and powers on to the next round, where he's going to get Kevin Burke. The dirt man, Rick Barner, out of Kannapolis, North Carolina, in his 1955 Chevy 2, finds himself in the quick time performance lane with the Jeff Taylor big block Chevy underneath the hood for him. Gene Fulton power plant under the hood for the Rocky Top missile of Ted McKee, the 66 Chevy 2 that has been built by Blake Housley. Ed McKee takes the win right there and puts Varner on the trailer. 7/100 of a second was the margin of victory right there. So here's Kevin Burt, the number 2 qualifier here today. He gets a bye right here by virtue of being that number 2 qualifier. All right, first pair out, going to find Kenneth Phillips in the 58 Corvette Silver Streak 2 on the left-hand side. He's going to be racing Dean Jonas out of Mount Holly, North Carolina. Dean Jonas in the car he calls the Agent Orange. 427 cubic inches under the hood for him. Big advantage on the starting line of Dean Jonas. Trying to run him down is Phillips, and not enough. Dean Jonas takes the win right there. Dean Jonas with a 0.25 light right there and puts the whole shot on him and takes the whole shot victory. All right, second pair out is going to find the number 2 qualifier, Chase Howard out of Greer, South Carolina, taking on the number 5 qualifier, Todd Blackwell out of Campobella, South Carolina. All right, what a drag race right there. Chase Howard had him on the line. That car got a little out of shape. He had to make sure he got in shape, and at the 3:30 mark, they were almost dead even. So the third pair out going to find the number 1 qualifier, Leslie Horn, in the Chick Magnet. He's going to be taking on Greg Stelz. That's cool. A couple of smoky burnouts right there with the 2 big-bodied cars. That's nothing like vintage. It just screams it, guys. Put this one to sleep early as Leslie Horn takes the win. That was a good drag race, but Leslie Horn, he took it to Stelz. All right back into C-Gas competition right here. There's Tim Hall. Tim Hall on a single right here is virtue of him having a bye run. Next pair up, going to be the number 1 qualifier, Todd Oden and Ben Shaw. Shaw, the number 6 qualifier after round number 1. Red light by Shaw, so that gives the win immediately over to Todd Oden. All right, another matchup right here. It's going to be a real good one right here. Pruitt goes over toward the center line, has to correct. That's all it takes for Jared Perdue to take the win. All right, big matchup here at B-Gas. Kevin Burt, the man who won our Kentucky race. And, you know, he's popped a drive shaft. He's had one help put in. Now he's got to try to slay Colby Welch, who's been absolutely dominant on the tree today. Kevin Burt knocks off Colby Welch in a little bit of an upset right there. here for Kevin Burke. Daniel Haynes in the Patriot right there. He's going to be in that left-hand lane. Holly Springs, South Carolina, where he calls home with the Dwayne Bush race engine under the hood for him. Michael Oden, 21-year-old racer out of Birmingham, Alabama, in the 62 Chevy 2, calls it a double down 2. Red light, Michael Oden. He gives it over to him, but he knew he had to go a little bit thin right there. But he knew he had to go as hard as he could. Can't fault the kid for that. Not the news that Ted McKee wanted to hear. But Ted McKee's receiving his bye run right now by virtue of this odd, complex number of cars we have in B gas today. All right, fans, might want to get back to your seat. Here we come with Super Stock. This is going to be our semifinals right here in Super Stock coming at you right now. All right, Kenny Phillips and Randy Keeper are going to be the first two up. Randy Keeper going to be over there from Cookeville, Tennessee. Randy Kiefer takes the win right there. Jerry Dean going to be in the mortgage options lane right there as he comes to the attention of his crew chief, Karen. Quick time performance lane going to be occupied by Brian Dalton Sr. First up, the bye run of Jared Purdue. He's the number 2 qualifier here today. So Purdue lays down a number right there for elapsed time. Let's see if either Tim Hall or Todd Oden, whoever wins that matchup coming up in the next pair of semifinalists, they can out-ET him to get lane choice. Todd Oden takes the win right there. Let me get this right. He's going to have lane choice. Jaron Purdue is going to have lane choice by 5/10,000ths of a second. All right, next matchup right here, Kevin Burke, 66 Chevy 2 for Ted McKee, going to sit over there in the mortgage options side. Ted McKee with a huge hole shot advantage, and that's all he's going to need. Ted McKee, once again, first set of semifinalists right here finds Todd Blackwell. He's going to be taking on the Mount Holly, North Carolina racer, Dean Jonas. Good drag race right there. 0.06 of a second, the margin of victory at the stripe going to Todd Blackwell. So looks like Leslie Horn may just take the green right here and move on down the racetrack on a Saturday night cruise here at Mooresville Dragway. Bob John Fish in the spin 6, going to be here in the quick time performance lane, and Robert Frazier of Bristol, Tennessee. He's going to be in the Midnight Rambler over in the mortgage options lane. Superstock finalists coming up right here. Jerry Dean and Randy Keeper. These guys have met in the finals a few times this year for sure, and Jerry Dean has been able to get the best of them right here. Randy Keeper looking for some redemption. Streak continues as he takes another big cup, making it his 7th of the year. Well, congratulations to you, brother. This is becoming an old hat to you.
You know, this is unreal. It really is. I'm tickled to death, but it just keeps happening for us. We just keep getting lucky, and it just keeps happening.
I don't know about that. You might be playing a little bit sheepish on us now. Lucky all the time is. Yeah. I mean, you hadn't lost a single round in competition this year.
Yeah, that's what's unimaginable. You know, it just seems like, you know, you might win a few races, but you're going to get beat somewhere, and it's going to happen. We know that, but it's we're not going to try to let it happen.
Well, it's going to take a big stumble because I mean, your ETs and your performance is far above your second place competitor.
Well, I owe that to my crew. They work really, really hard, and we're always either testing or to the dyno, or we don't go home and put it in the garage. We work, and it pays off because every time we test, we think we find a little something, you know. And then when you go to the dyno, you always hope to find something, but horsepower is kind of hard to come by, you know. So legally, I mean, if we didn't have rules, we could have a lot of horsepower, you know. But it's just a tremendous thing that it's working like it is, you know, and this deal's going like it is, and we're very thankful. I mean, we really are.
Well, I know you're a veteran. You've been down the racetrack many, many times in your career. Have you ever been on a streak like this before?
No, I have to say I haven't. I've had some good years of racing, but win this many in a row, no, this is it right here. I mean, this is unbelievable. It really is.
Well, I don't know the exact points and how it goes, but I would assume you pretty much got the championship wrapped up at this point just by showing up in the next 3 races.
We don't really. We try to win. We figure the points take care of themselves, and so I really don't know where we stand. But you know, he's been in every final, and we've gained 5 a race, so that should put us 35 ahead. So something like that. But Randy Keefer's greatest people in the world. We all get along good. We carry on something all the time, and like I tell everybody, he wants to outrun us as bad as we want to outrun him, but we stay friends. We help one another, and we're always carrying on. You couldn't ask for nobody no better.
Well, that's what it's all about here at Southeast Gashers. Want to congratulate you, Karen, and all your crew for all your hard work here.
I appreciate it.
All right, good deal.
Thank you. We done?
SEGA finals coming at you right now. Todd Oates out of Birmingham, Alabama, going to be here in the quick time performance lane where he has preferred all day. Jared Purdue, Peoples, Ohio, he has preferred the left-hand lane all day, the mortgage options lane, and he has hit that lane of choice for him. Todd Oden turns on the red light. So Jaron Purdue going to get his first ever victory. Congratulations to Jaron Purdue. He's going to visit victory lane for the first time in his career. Jaron Purdue, man, finding the victory lane for your first time, we can't hardly wipe the smile off your face, can we?
It's pretty exciting. I was telling someone earlier, like I run dirt track and go-karts and junior dragsters. I've been into everything, but this is actually my 100th win. So I wanted to get my 100th with the Southeast Gassers. I've had a couple guys ask me to come back and run dirt cars, and I was always afraid I'd get that last win, but I wanted to do it here, and it means a lot to me to be able to get that 100th here, because the margins of victories here is so tight. Like, this is a tough field, and I don't think people realize how tight it is.
Yeah, I was just telling someone earlier, all our gas classes, every gas class that we got is thousandths of a second. I know the elapsed time that you put down in the semifinals and the elapsed time that your competitor put down in the semifinals were separated by 5/10,000ths of a second.
Was it 4/10,000?
5 or 4/10,000ths. That's how you had lane choice.
Yeah, it was. And I ended up staying in the same lane that I'd been in all day, and Todd, which gave Todd the lane he had been in all day. But I wanted to win one legitimately too. Like, I didn't want anybody to ever say, well, you took the lane from, you know what I mean? So I wanted it to be as even as it could be. So I'm glad it worked out that way.
The track changed a lot during the day. I had a lot of guys telling me, what did you do that helped you stay consistent?
Quayne made a couple adjustments early on, well, especially yesterday evening. We had that one where I let out of the clutch and went from the right lane to the left lane. He made some adjustments on the car, and it really helped it out a bunch. But as of today, it seemed to do something different every pass. But the consistency was there for the most part. But the last pass, it picked up a, what was it, 4,000ths or so. So it was going in the right way, and a little better air here in the evening. So.
Well, you are serving notice that this car right here is going to be looking like it's going to be a chance to have a world championship again next year, maybe a 3-time world championship car.
Yeah, I was saying it's a shame I didn't buy it earlier in the year, but it is what it is. We'll try for next year, and we're going to give it what we've got. We'll see where we can get from there.
Well, congratulations on your first Southeast Gasser win here at Mooresville Dragway, Jaron Purdue, and SEGA.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So I told you earlier, Daniel Haynes, his car broke. Has a oil leak, and he's not going to push it anymore because he is the current points leader. So Ted McKee, the man who sits second in points, he's got about a 15, maybe 20-point margin to make up on Daniel Haynes, and Haynes is only going to give up 5 points right here. So Ted McKee will take the light here in B Gas, and he will be crowned our winner here in Mooresville. Ted McKee, man, finding Mooresville Dragway, and we finding the Rocky Top Missile back in victory lane.
Yeah, it's been a while.
What, Knoxville earlier this year was your first win?
Yep, first win.
So this makes 2 on for you on 24.
Yes, sir. Makes 2 of them. Been trying to make it faster, and I was hurting myself. So we went back to the basics, and she started running again.
Like Daddy used to say, paralysis by analysis.
That's it. Yeah.
Well, today you really showed out and did well. I mean, you had a good run. This Fulton motor was running real well, and the Housley car was handling really well for you.
Yeah, done good. Done a good job. I hate taking a win like that, but it's tough.
Well, Daniel, that was, mechanical things happen sometimes, and it could happen to you just as easily it could happen to him.
It's happened to me a bunch this year.
Well, very good. Now, so you're still, in second place in the points, trying to catch back up. So I know that's one of the things that's foremost on your mind, I'm sure.
Yep, it is. Try to win out these next ones. That's what I'm after.
Well, we got an opportunity. We're going back to your place next race. Will be up at Knoxville Dragway in September.
Yep, get home, take it apart, and get it ready.
Well, congratulations to you on your win here today at Mooresville, and Ted McKee, B Gas winner here at Mooresville Dragway.
Thank you, brother.
Deal. 451 cubic inches of par race engine right here in the quick time performance lane for Todd Blackwell. The standing in his way is going to be the man that leads the points right now. That is Leslie Horn in the Chick Magnet. The two Spartanburg, South Carolina motor builders about to go head to head in our biggest class right here. Scott Duggins, the man who leads par race engines under the hood for the Slingshot. Gene Fulton preparing the motor for the Chick Magnet. 477 in that Fulton power plant over in the mortgage option side. Blackwell goes in deep. I think that might have threw Todd Blackwell off. Leslie Horn going to streak away to victory. And the Chick Magnet puts another one up here in 2024 to extend his point lead.
Don't know if that kind of threw Todd off by rolling in a little bit deep. I don't think he planned on doing that because that's not part of his MO, is to go into the lights, go deep like that, turn off that top.
So Leslie Horn, and congratulations now. You find yourself in victory lane with not one but two victories here today with the makeup of the Kentucky race and your victory here at Mooresville Dragway.
Yes, I mean, I can't believe it. Dave would come in here, and I didn't think we would be here. I thought we had an issue with the car, and it ended up making it through it and pulled through it. And I made the call last night. We was about to go home and put the old Fateful engine in it and come back. And I was sitting up there and I was thinking, you know, what would Gene Fulton tell me to do? He'd tell me to send it. So I said, I'm going to send it. And I figured if I'd find the weak point, send it if I did. So that's what I did. And luckily she held up, went through.
Car looked like it performed really well as far as handling all day today.
Oh, man, it's that. Brian had that thing on a rail most of the day, all day. I mean, I don't know that it was too many times I even had to turn the steering wheel when I left. It left good. Bob put a little power into it last night. You know, Brian was complaining about it bogging a little bit, and Bob worked his magic on it, done something there with the cam and the valve lash and all that stuff, and he said it was going to make power, and he changed the carburetor around a little bit, and he was right. It made good power today, and that was evident with those two first qualifying rounds. So.
Well, you got a great crew behind you. That's what's propelling you to a lot of these victories. But, you know, the preparation that you put in at the shop really makes the difference.
Yeah, it does. We do. I mean, all these guys work hard, but we do. We make sure they're maintained. Like this one here, we're taking the engine out of it. We'll be taking the engine out of it tomorrow. We're going to get Gene to freshen it up just to make sure it's good to finish out the rest of the season. So, that is where a lot of it's won. I mean, you've heard Quayne say that many times. You know, the races are won in the shop, and it is. We do get here, not have no problems. You know, that's very rarely that happens.
Well, your two wins today, I mean, are you even thinking about the possibility of the World Championship here in 2024, or are you just going to try to take it race by race, round by round?
Well, I'm just taking it race by race, round by round. If it works out that way, it works out that way. I mean, yes, I took a pretty big leap today in the points, especially with Todd Blackwell going out in the race. It was yesterday, I think. Yeah, yesterday. And London, Kentucky, so I picked up quite a few points on him then. Then me and him come down to the finals here, and I picked up another 5 on him there. So I think I might have gapped him a little bit. I think I got about a 25-point lead on him now, and I had 5 coming in. So yeah, we'll just have to see when the time gets here. I don't really worry about that stuff till you get to Shady Side, and if whatever it is at Shady Side's what it is.
Well, we talked about our other drivers, how in our gas classes, all the competition being so close, and here you find yourself still close with the competition, but you are on top of the heap in the toughest class that we got.
I don't know. It's a tough class, but I tell you, that doggone driving that big ass car is tough too. It's a whole different ball game, and I knew them boys was tough. I didn't think I was going to make it far in that one anyway, and I about threw the towel in after the first round of qualifying when I had to run down there, and it was hot, and I come back and got this car was hot, and I was sitting there dizzy, sweating. I was like, well, what am I doing? But we stuck with it and went ahead and run the second round of qualifying. Wayne said if we didn't run no faster in the second round, that he was just going to pull it, and I actually went about a 10th faster, and so then we said, well, we'll just go run 1 round. Well, we'll just go ahead and run 2 rounds. Well, then Michael Odin took me out there, I think, in the second round.
Well, congratulations, though. It's been a great weekend for you. 2 big wins right here to propel you even further into the points.
Yep. Thank you, David. Thank you, everybody.
Leslie Horn.